Hello everyone, and welcome to another Learning Live. I have been recording all afternoon and now you get me live. So we are in for a treat. I am a little bit punchy, so there might be some giggles, there might be some oopsies, but we are along for the ride. So hope everyone is doing well. I did see when I came up for air and went for dinner, white stuff in the air, which does not at all make me happy, which is a good thing that we are playing with some fun, colorful, exciting things tonight and making cute little treat baskets, all of which can hold those yummy little chocolate Easter eggs. Could probably hold a Cadbury cream egg or two. Those are my personal favorites. So if you are bringing treats to the store and want to bring us some Easter cream eggs, I will never ever turn those away. Way back in my direct sales days, they actually used to nickname me Creamy because I loved those Easter cream eggs.
Are you asking for bribes?
I am. Well, you know what? Sometimes it's okay to ask. And because Easter cream eggs are only at a certain time of year, and maybe after this live, I might have to bribe one of my kids to go out and get the Easter cream egg McFlurries.
Good luck with that one.
Oh, I got a good luck with that one. Anyways, Carol's saying no white stuff there. Lucky you. It didn't stick. Pardon me, Matt? Matt says it has stopped here. This was at dinner time. Anyways, we are going to make some super cute little baskets. I actually am, and I'm going to apologize off the top. It's not going to affect things too much, but I am going to switch things up a little bit based on what I posted for supplies. Same supplies, we just may move them around, whether it's basket 1 or basket 2, and there may be things that you will have to maybe grab on the fly. So if you have some pattern paper handy, start grabbing that now while I am still talking. I am keeping an eye on my camera as well. I have had some challenges with the power cord that goes into it. Fingers crossed, toes crossed, everybody pray that the power lasts. But beyond that, I think we are going to have a great evening. All right, I'm going to switch over to the desktop camera and let's start playing. So I also have, Easter basket number 1, and there are 2 formats here that are very similar. There's this one here that takes a 6x6 square of paper and you score it and cut it and kind of fold on the edges in order to get this cute little, I'm going to call it a square basket. It's not really square, but that's the picture that is in my head. We can make a little handle for it, and I can show you how to adjust the size as well. And the measurements I'm going to give you again is for a 6x6 square, which makes this little size here, but it is very easy to scale it up and scale it down, and we can talk about that as well. Then we will go into this version here, which is a little bit fancier version from the side standpoint. And I have actually seen people take this particular style and without the handle, create a second one, and it actually can turn into a baby carriage. So that is kind of a cute little evolution on that idea. And if the power holds and if the time permits, I have started coloring up these cute little lawn fawn items. This is from the Stamp and Stencil Easter eggs set. Darlene very graciously loaned me hers. What this is it's a stamp set, but then it has a stencil that comes right in it to color up the Easter eggs. So if time permits, we will do 1 or 2 of these little guys to just decorate and put on the side of our basket. So hello everyone, as you are tuning in, thank you for joining me. Please do jump notes into the comments and everything else. And even though I asked you to have paper and supplies and things ready, I am going to be cutting right from square one. So if you have to grab something, if you didn't prep, well, you can prep right along with me. got my little post here. What else did I tell you to have? So I told you to have 2 6x6 squares. One is a pattern paper and one is a solid paper. So let's start by cutting those. I've got a nice selection of goodies here. So I've got some green. This is Concord and 9th paper. It's parsley. I think this is flexible enough that, so Concord and 9th paper is 80 pound. It's not the 100 pound weight that the Spellbinders color wheel cardstock is. And I actually think for these baskets, a lighter might actually be a little bit better. So I'm going to use parsley for one of mine. And then the other basket, I am going to do using the carrots. And that looks way, way busy on the camera. So I'll try to be friendly with that and use it as little as possible. But the reason why I'm choosing this one is the thing with these baskets is if you have something that is directional, it is going to be right side up on one side and upside down on the other side. So with these carrots, we could put them sideways and be okay, or also maybe one side has the stems going up and the other one has the stems going down, but either way it's not upside down. So I'm going to use that one for this one. So it is a little bit of a switch from what I told you, but at the end of the day, it's starting with the same piece. And then I do have this pattern paper as well. I did not tell you to have this ready, but if you do have another coordinating piece of pattern paper, I'm going to show you how you can make this guy out of cardstock and then cover the little panels in order to use a directional paper. So if all you have is directional, here's your workaround. And that's, I didn't think of that until after I had already posted the supply list. So please do forgive me on that. Then we just need some scraps and things of the pattern paper and of the cardstock for our handle. Tools wise, I have both my paper trimmer and my scoreboard here. I have a 1-inch circle punch and corner rounder. I've got to dig that one out of my drawer here. I've got a corner rounder. And then one last thing that I did not tell you to have, but I probably should have, is if you have a couple of paper clips or binder clips, this will help in gluing this second basket. So if you happen to have them, great. If you don't, it's not going to affect things too much. It just helps hold things as they dry. Liquid glue, I've got scissors, got tweezers, got all the things. So I think we are ready to dig in. I'm just going to switch this over in case I have to zoom in, of course, which now it's disconnected, but we'll get that fixed, or I'll do it the old-fashioned way. Let me cut my paper. So this one I'm just going to put aside for right now. Let me grab this guy. I am going to cut a 6x6 piece out of the carrot paper. That is, as much as I said pattern paper was for basket number 1, it's actually going to be for basket number 2. So if you have pattern paper already cut, put that in basket number 2. So there is our 6x6. And you will get so addicted with these that you are going to want to make tons and tons. So if you have a 6x6 pad, you can absolutely bust up that pad and make a ton of these baskets. Definitely helps if there is something pretty on the backside, because you will also see on the inside. But again, that's where maybe solid paper might be your friend. All right, this guy, let's cut to a 6x6 as well. Okay, and then while we're here, we'll cut the handles when we need them. We'll bring that back. All right, so let's get this out of the way. We are going to start with this style of basket, and it is very straightforward, and very easy to scale. It will all make sense once we get scoring. So let's just dig in and score, and then we can talk about the scalability of it. So this is the one where, as much as I said pattern paper to start with, we are going to start with the cardstock instead. And here off to the side, let me put it on this side where my head is not in the way. So here we have a 6x6 square. I'm going to put it right into my scoreboard here as you typically would. You just need a nice little one, and get my scoring tool. We are going to score it at 2 inches and at 4 inches. So essentially we're making thirds. One side is the left side, one side is the right side, and the other side is in the middle. All right, so 2 inches all the way down and 4 inches all the way down. I will always give the tip that when you're scoring, don't push too hard to begin with. It's always very easy to go back in and deepen your score lines. But if you push too hard, even with some cardstocks, it may punch right through. And with this one, you want those seams to be nice and keep their integrity. So you don't want to push too hard. All right, so 2 score lines. Take it. We're going to do 1 rotation. So now those score lines are going horizontal, and we are going to do the exact same measurements, 2 inches and 4 inches. And I think it's probably pretty easy right now to see how this can now be scalable. So you need to make sure that your base page is a square. And ideally, you want something that is easily divisible by 3. So you could have a piece of paper that is 7.5 by 7.5. That is 3 sections of 2.5 inches. You could have a square that is 9 by 9. And that way you have score lines at 3 and at 6 to make 3 columns of 3-inch squares. And so on and so forth. Think about this as divisible by 3s, and it's very easy to scale and go bigger or even go smaller. You could have a little teeny tiny 3 by 3 that has 1-inch panels. So I invite you, when you get addicted to these and want to make more, try some different sizes. It depends on what you are putting in the basket, but you can have a lot of fun with that. All right, scoreboard's going to go aside for right now. We are going to grab our scissors, and do I have a Sharpie? I don't really want to use a Sharpie. What we're going to do is we are going to pick the top and the bottom, and we are going to cut up this score line only to the next score line on both sides, here and here. Keep that center piece intact. Might be easier if I just show you. So I'm just going to snip up this score line here only as far as that horizontal score line. Repeat here. There we go. Do a complete 180. So this is now on the top, and now we are going to do the same thing on the bottom. So now we have 2 little flaps here, and you can go ahead, actually before you fold all them, maybe while it's still a little bit rigid, take your corner rounder and round your 4 outside corners. This is optional, but it does give a nice little finish to your basket when you are done. So now we're going to fold on all those score lines and fold them all in the same direction, so they're all going inside. And if you were to take this and do it all the way in, you would make a little open cube. But we don't need that. We are actually only going to go part way. Look, can you see what's happening? That's where our basket is starting to form. Now we could go ahead and just glue these right now, and if you were making it out of pattern paper, this is where you could just start gluing your two corners up if you want. But this is where I'm going to add in that extra layer of, I want some pattern paper on my flaps. You could also do it on this one here. I think here I've said cut it 4 times. You could cut it 6 and have it in 3 different places. For the interest of time, I'm only going to do it on those side flaps. So this is where I am going to take my bunny paper, because I want this is a directional paper. I'm going to put my paper in this way. They look like they're going sideways, and I am going to cut, let me reveal, at 1 7/8. If you don't like 1 7/8, go down to 1 3/4. I just want a nice little border around the outside. So if I cut one whole strip that is 1 7/8, like so. And if I'm going too fast, folks, please do just jot in the comments, ask me to slow down. I am happy to do so. I'm going to do 1 7/8, and I'm going to do 4 of them. There. There. And there. And I do have enough that if I had wanted to do 6, oh, you know what? Maybe I'll put the jelly beans on the other side. So 1 7/8 and one last 1 7/8. So my 2 jelly beans I am going to leave completely square. These guys I am going to round some corners so that they match. So I want top right and top left. So this one will be a top right. This one will be a top left. Top right and top left. Whoops. There we go. And let's make sure we're getting this right. So let's liquid glue. My bottle is almost empty. I am finally getting to the end of this bottle, but the glue keeps clogging in that tip because there's nothing giving it any pressure from behind. Okay. So in my head, I've been explaining very well how this goes. I'm not sure if I'm actually explaining it very well. When I look at these two flaps, they are going to come over and overlap in front of this square panel. So this piece here has the rounded corner at the top. I'm going to put it here. Right now it sort of looks sideways, but when it all comes together, it will be correct. Then I'm going to find my other corner here. And so right now, they look sideways, but we're going to have faith. Okay, so this one's going to go here. Leaving just a little bit of a white border around, or not white, green border around it. My jelly beans, which are multi-directional, are going to go here in the centers. Like so. Here in the center, like so. And then now I'm going to match up my rounded corners again, left and right. Now, 100% there is no reason at all why you could not just leave the cardstock, but I really wanted to give you that hint on how to use directional paper without your bunnies or chicks or other directional images going upside down. Okay. So now we can start to form our basket. I'm going to start on the left side and I'm going to fold it up on this flap, not directly across the middle, though that is an option. So this is where you have an option on how wide or how narrow you want your basket to be. I'm going to try to aim for kind of halfway. So if I were to draw a line that connected this bottom corner and this top corner, that is the line along which this bottom piece would go. And you just need a little bit of glue on that corner, like so, and stick it down. Hold it for a second just so it can set. And we're going to do the same thing on this side. And you can see how that's really starting to come together. Literally. And you just want to try and get your left side and your right side as even as possible. Once we've got that, we can flip it the other way and we are going to do the exact same thing. So a little bit of glue on your corner. Stick it down. Hold it. Just making sure I'm not missing any comments there. These would make super fun place cards if you actually have the family come over for Easter dinner. You could put their names on the front of the basket. But look at how darling that is, just like that. So all we need to do next is create and attach our handle, and this basket is done. Now, by all means, if you have coordinating stickers or ephemera, or that's where I envision these little guys going, you could add extra decoration to this, but the pattern paper also just adds lots of brightness and fun. Imagine putting some of that Easter basket grass in there, some little Easter eggs, or use it, they don't have to be Easter. If you were doing a wedding shower or a baby shower, these would make great little treats for your guests to take home. All right, we're going to grab more cardstock. I'm going to grab this pattern paper back again. So this is where I'm going to create a 2-layered handle. We're going to do one piece that is 6 by 3/4. You could go a little more narrow, but I'm going to go a little bit bolder. And another piece that is 6 by 1/2. So what directions do I have here? That is only 5, so I need to go this way. That is, this piece is 6. This piece is 6, so we'll stick with that one. It's already 6 inches long. I'm going to do 3/4 of an inch wide. And then this guy here, I'm going to use the jelly bean side, and let's just do 1/2 inch over there. And then cut it down to 6. So we've got an extra piece for the next basket. This is just going to layer on top of here, centering it. Right down the center. And even though my pattern strip is a little smidgen longer, I can either trim it off or it's going to go inside the basket, so nobody's actually going to see it. So we're just going to put a little bit of glue in here and attach. And I like to kind of train this a little bit, give it a little bit of a curl just by bending it over your fingers so that when it goes into the basket, it's not fighting with what you're trying to do. So that's going to go inside there. And the same on the other side. And then this is really what the little clips were meant to be. Though this one's not gonna, it's more for the other one. You can just try, yeah, that's not gonna work. If you wanted to put a paper clip or something there just to hold it while it sets. And you could go, I mean, I did the 6 inches on that handle. You could go a little bit longer if you wanted a little bit more handle to go with it. But there is basket number 1. That was using cardstock and directional paper, and it's what I affectionately call the square basket because each one of these panels are squares. How was that? Thumbs up? I'll give you a minute. I'm going to grab a sip of water and then we will go on to basket number 2. And I am right kind of at the halfway mark, so timing is peachy keen. While I'm waiting for you guys to, I'm just giving you an extra minute to finish that up. I am going to cut my handle out of this since I've already got it here. This one is going to, you know what, I think I'm going to do a 2-layer handle like I did on this one. So once again, I'm going to do this at 3/4 of an inch. And I don't know if the jelly beans will go with the carrots, but that side would, even though they're sideways. So let me just go ahead and glue that down as well. So basket number 2 starts with a lot of the same pieces and ideas as the first one, in that we are taking a square piece of paper and scoring it into thirds, both vertically and horizontally. Oh, I'm glad that turned out for you, Carol. Thank you for sharing that. And folks, I want to see your pictures. Make sure you are posting in the Papercrafts Inner Circle, and especially if they happen to have goodies inside it, I would love to see what you are using for it. And hey, we are still in E and F for our alphabet soup challenge. So go ahead and post that as your E for Easter basket. Okay, so like I said, this one is using a lot of the same math. It just does get a little bit more complicated in the finishing stages. So I do have measurements again. I will walk you through it. But I am a very visual person. So I like to, when I try to figure things out the first time, I like to draw myself a sketch. So where the previous one, our previous one, just had a square like this, and we did the thirds this way and the thirds this way. Then we did some cuts, we did some cuts, we did some cuts, we did some cuts. Everything else was intact. This one has some extra score lines and some extra cuts. So we're going to take this nice and slow, but just know that we are working, on the same principle, just taking it to the next level. And maybe for this one, even though it's not going to be super pretty, I may dig out that Sharpie just to show you where those score lines are. If you feel more comfortable watching first and then going back and creating on replay, totally understand. But let's give this guy a try. So I'm going to take my carrot paper, and I'm going to start just by doing those 2 columns of thirds. Gabrielle says she's going to fill it with colorful eggs, which is awesome. That is exactly what these are designed for. So we're going to take our 6x6. We're going to score it at 2 inches and at 4 inches. Then we're going to rotate and repeat. So right now, direction doesn't matter because we're going to do the same on both directions. So 2 inches, 2 inches, 4 inches. And this time, because we are using pattern paper, you do want to be gentle with that scoring so that you don't punch through. Yeah, busy paper, you're not going to be able to see my score lines, but trust me, they're there. Take your paper, one turn, 90 degrees. We're going to do 2 inches again. Don't push too hard. I'm saying that to myself because I got a little overzealous there for a second. 2 inches and 4 inches again. So we have our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Those are our score lines, our little boxes. Here's where things get a little more interesting. I'm going to keep my carrots running sideways because that's how I want it in the end. We know that these 4 corners are going to be the things that fold up. So I want to keep this. This is going to be my top. This is going to be my bottom, or my left and my right. And we're going to do 4 score lines. 2 in this square and 2 in this square. I'll bring this up a little bit closer. We're going to do 5/8, 1 3/8. Then that's in this square. Then over in this square, it's 4 5/8 and 5 3/8. So I'll just hold that there so you can either grab a screenshot or write it down. Excuse me. 5/8, 1 3/8, 4 5/8, 5 3/8. So sorry about that. Swallowed the wrong way. All right. Gonna be quiet for a minute while my throat recovers. 5/8, 1 3/8, 4 5/8, 5 3/8. Wow, that's hard being quiet. All right, so what we've essentially done is we've taken this square and let me draw it with the pencil because then I can at least erase it. We have created another set of thirds here in this corner. So 3 little strips and 3 little strips. I didn't follow that line very well, but you get the idea. Let me just erase that. So that was on the top. We're going to do one more thing on the top and then we're going to rotate it and do the same thing on this piece here. Excuse me. I'm going to take my pencil, or you could take your scoring tool, and I'm just going to do a little mark here at the 3-inch mark, which is the center of this center square. So we've got 3 strips, a little mark, and then 3 strips. Let's turn it all the way around. So now our little 3 strips are at the bottom, and we're going to do the exact same thing. So 5/8, just down to that score line. 1 3/8, over here to 4 5/8, and 5 3/8. So again, if you are adjusting your size and playing around with it, just make sure that these squares are easily divisible by 3, or maybe you have a math prodigy in the house that can help you. Lastly, I'm going to mark that 3-inch mark here at the top. So 3 strips, mark at the center, 3 strips, 3 strips, mark at the center, 3 strips. Everybody with me so far? Scoreboard can go away. Get out your scissors. And just like on this guy, we are now going to cut on these score lines only up to that horizontal mark. I'm going to erase my pencil. Just so that it still looks pretty. All right. So, snip, snip, snip. So 3 snips on the left. Don't worry about this guy just yet. And then 3 snips here. So now you've got those 3 little flaps, and your 1 big flap. Flip it around, same thing. Okay, so 3 little strips, solid center, 3 little strips. You can go ahead and fold all the way, all inwards, just like we did on the other one. It's a little bit more delicate now, but still pretty simple. And then fold this one. And fold this one. Starting to look a little weird, but that's okay. So, 4 more cuts, 2 on each side. Remember this little mark here? We are going to make a cut from the tick mark to the corner. And from the tick mark to the corner. And that is making this triangle piece here in that center flap. It is better if you have bigger scissors that you can do one continuous cut. I don't see my big scissors, so I'm just going to have to go with my smaller one. I'm actually going to take this little strip of cardstock and use it as a straight edge to draw myself some lines. If you have a ruler, of course, grab your ruler. All right. So we're going to snip away those outer triangles. So, and do the other side. Okay. Are you still with me? Watch for the first one, and then it will all make sense. Far left strip, far right strip. We are going to fold them up and glue them. I'm going to bend these back just so you can see. You're going to glue them so that they make a solid strip across the top. This is your foundation piece. That is going to be the upper rim of your basket. So just a little bit of glue on the end. Layer it over. And do your best to keep it as straight as possible. Get my fingers out of the way. So that's number 1. We're now going to repeat for layer number 2. So a little bit of glue right in the center. Strip number 2 is going to fold up. Don't worry if it peeks over the top, we can trim that. But see how this fold is now starting to come together. Little bit of glue in the center. Fold it up. And repeat again for your third set of strips. Okay. So this nice rounded edge is starting to form. And then this triangle just folds up to complete the pattern. And again, this is where your little clip can come into play to hold it all together while the glue is setting. We're going to stop for a minute and let that just sit. I'm going to grab, I might be able to do it on this one, but I do have a little scrap here of the green that I'm going to punch out a 1-inch circle. There we go. And it's nice that it's a nice coordinating color. So I'm going to punch out 1 circle. And I know I need another one for the other side, so I'm going to punch out a 2nd circle. We can go back to this. And I'm going to take my scissors and just trim off any little points that might be sticking up there so that we've got a fairly straight edge at the top. We're going to take 1 circle. Now, I have done it and have seen it where you fold it directly in half. But when I did my sample one, I actually found that it was a little easier to do like 1/3, 2/3, and just kind of fold it like so. So it's not a full half. It's just got a little bit of a lip. The larger piece is going to fold over like this. And we're just going to glue that inside flap inside as well. So glue on both pieces. And that's just a nice finishing touch. Like so. Really give it a good squeeze until it sets. And again, you can put your little binder clip on it or your paper clip to hold it while we flip over to the other side and repeat. Have I lost you yet? Are you still with me? Once you kind of get the hang of it and once you get that first piece into place, everything else just goes together naturally. So there's my first one. And yeah, you can't even tell that some of the carrots are upside down and some are right side up. Okay, so there's my first one. There's my second one. There's my third. hold it while it sets for a second. All right, so all my arms are now in place. One last little glue for my triangle. And I'm seeing I did not erase my pencil lines on that triangle piece, but I'm pretty sure I can go in carefully afterwards and take care of that. Trim off my points. Fold my circle about 1/3 of the way. Oh, that was maybe a little bit more than 1/3. It's gluey gluey. And hold it all together. And like I said, this is the format that I've seen where they took two, they made two in contrasting colors, put one on the end of the other one to make what looks like a baby carriage, and put, you know, little circle wheels on it. Could be super fun for a baby carriage. All right, I'm gonna put my clip on this one. Let that set. Oh, I do have my handle already. So with this handle already being 6 inches, I personally think it's better to go this way, side to side, like we did the previous one. If you wanted an option, you could always cut your handle longer. I would do at least 9 inches, maybe longer. And you could put your handle this way so that it looks like that. So you've got options with this one. And actually, even that 6 inches isn't too bad. So I would say you'd want at least 8 or 9 inches to go that full length. All right, a little bit of glue in here for side one. I think this one I could probably get that little clip in there. And then this side, like so. There we go. How so cute is that? So those are our 2 baskets. I'm going to let that set just for a little minute. And we do have a little bit more time. So as you folks are finishing those up and that glue is setting, hopefully, let me grab these guys. So I had stamped out a couple of these critters. I have colored them themselves in Copic markers. You can also get a coloring stencil for this set, but we don't have that one. We just have the egg stencil. So there is a solid one that if you wanted to do a solid egg underneath your patterns, I'm going to go cheap and cheerful and I'm not going to worry about the solid. All of these patterns are going to go onto white eggs. So with my little chick here, I can line up those polka dots, grab myself a magnet. Let's do purple with the chick. Tomorrow is actually National Purple Day. No, not tomorrow, Thursday. So in honor of National Purple Day, we're going to do some purple polka dots on our egg. So that's one, easy peasy. Let's do this one over here has actually little hearts. Little hearts maybe makes it a flower. I've got a pink one here, so let's do that with our bunny. Get that lined up there. Got a whole selection here of different blending brushes. Oh, that's going to be super cute. There's that one. What color should we do with the frog? I have blue and I have teal. Maybe let's do the teal with the frog and the blue with the mouse. So let's come down here. Let's do some teal stripes for our froggy. Well, thank you ladies for your comments. I'm glad you had fun with that. And even if you're just watching, definitely make some time to give this a try. The baskets are super fun. And it's a great way, if you've got like a partial pad of 6x6 paper, it's a great way to bust that pad up and get rid of all the bits. Oh my goodness, look how cute they are. What am I going to do on this guy? Let's do this one here with the flower and the stripes. That over here. Probably not the right color of brush for this blue, but we'll get an interesting combination here. And that's all you need to do. So these Easter eggs with the Lawn Fawn critters, great way to craft with younger crafters, or if you just want really big impact, really quickly. Like look how quickly we did 4 of those. And I'm gonna I'm just gonna die cut one of them. What should we do with the carrot? We should probably do the bunny with the carrots. I think that is. This one's got ears, so I'm gonna guess it's that one. Let's die cut him out and show how you can add it to your Easter basket. My measurements, my extra cardstock, my die cutting plates, and there's the die. Making sure everything lines up. The Lawn Fawn dies always line up really easily. Just a little piece of yellow tape to hold it into place. Do, 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 do. So there's our sweet little buddy. And actually, because he's got pink on it, maybe he would look better. Nah, I like him on the carrot. So let's get rid of our clips. I'm even going to use a foam square. And you don't need a lot, just one little foam square there in the center. Pop that on the handle there. And look how cute that is. Like I said, you could put the name on the other side. You could put another critter over on the other side. And man, so much fun. Easy to do, easy to get addicted, and a great way to use up your supplies. So get some of these bits off to the side. Let's show all of our different options there. Great little project. So, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I'm going to come back up here. Remember, as always, we love to see what you are making. So, take your little baskets. I'm pointing down here and you can't even see my hands. Take your little baskets, post them in the Papercraft inner circle. Make them for your family. Make them for your friends. Or again, if you have younger crafters, I mean, this one especially, younger crafters should have no trouble making as well. So it could be a family craft that you do together, and then fill them with all kinds of great little treats. And hey, if you happen to have an extra, just saying, you know where to find us. All right, everyone. Gabrielle says, I have to go into production now. Absolutely. Get out a 6x6 pad, bust them out, and have lots of fun. Wishing you all a wonderful evening, and we will talk to you all very soon. Good night, everyone.